Welcome to Ln space where sigma dx over dt applies when t equals 1 equals 0. Where energy is infinite, limitless in flux yet remains the same trans-dimensional, constant and abundant. We summarize this as Brill, behold, the light.
In the 1920s, a person decided that they should share their wisdom on how to hang pictures. And it's a pretty neat idea. And I'm bringing it back now so that people who may have the daunting task of how do I hang that picture, put something up on that bare wall that will beautify the room. Now, the thing most people fiddle around with is they stick their head against a wall and they try and see where that wire is, and they try and get the wire on the hook, and they're dinking around for minutes, you know, and breaking into a sweat, especially if they have to stand up on the sofa and do it and that sort of thing. So here's a novel idea, and I've modified it for the age. And what we'll do is we'll take this, okay, and there's your standard picture, and you see the wire is below the top of the frame, okay, and there's the hook on the wall. Now, how do we get this up on there real easy? The person who wrote this in used a piece of string, and you can use a piece of string, but I'm going to use a rubber band because I got lots of these. So what we're going to do is we put the rubber band around the hook like so. Okay? Now we put a twist in the rubber band like that, and we bring it down. Bring the rubber band down into the bottom of the hook. Now I'm going to put that rubber band through here between the wire and the picture. So when I do that, and I'm grabbing the rubber band now, supporting the picture, and I go like this, and there we go. And the picture is hung. That's simple. And I left the rubber band on there because if I have to take that picture down in the future, I'm just cleaning up in the house, spring cleaning, I know that that rubber band is there, and I know I can have that picture down in a second, and equally in just a second I can have it back up on the wall, just with that simple little trick. In this segment, we're going to talk about filling containers. Now, we may not do this every day, but in that once in a while time when we're trying to get paint out of a gallon bucket, or you know, something with a wide mouth, and we'll illustrate that with this glass right here that's got a wide mouth, and this container that's got a much smaller mouth. Now, it's very easy to get the material from this into that, but getting it the other way around, how do we do that? Well, there's a real easy fix for this, and it's sort of my version of silly putty or plasticine or whatever that you can carry in your pocket. If your mouth gets really dry, you know, and you can stand the flavor of this stuff, you can chew it, and it's gum. Most gums will work, but this like Hubba Bubba Double Bubble, whatever this stuff is, it's got a lot of sugar in it, and it's the sugar makes it really sticky. And so if you don't like the taste of it, like I don't, all you do is you unwrap it and you put it in some water and you knead it with your fingers until it's like plasticine. Okay? So my test equipment here to do the test and not make too much of a mess. And some Hubba Bubba, or Double Bubble, or whatever you call this pink kids gum. Anyways, I prepared this earlier. Now what I'm going to do is very simple. So I've got the wide brim vessel right here, and what's going to happen is by the time the water can spill over this edge, it's going to spread out like this. Part of the water is going to catch this surface of the container and want to pour down, adhere to and pour down this and drip off the base and make a huge mess. So I want to avoid that. So I take my Hubba Bubba and I stick it on the container. Now, because of the sugar in this stuff, it is really sticky. You've seen gum underneath tables that people have left there at restaurants. Well, you know what a pain it is to get that stuff off after it's dried. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this on here. We're going to make this little sort of tongue. You know, think of Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. Okay? Now we've got that tongue on there, and as you can see, right, it just stuck on there. Okay? But what it does is it will be a guide for the liquid. So here's the container with the small opening, and this is what we do. We just simply pour it. Notice it's not going down the side of the glass, and it's going straight into the container with the much smaller nozzle, or a smaller opening. There it's done. There it's done. You couldn't have done it simpler than that. And this little trick was explained by a person back in 1960 who was a painter, and he had a problem with paint and paint cans, and he decided to publish his idea using chewing gum, and it works perfectly. Then afterwards you can take it off your container, and as long as you have a little bit of pill bottle with a little bit of water or something, you know, to keep it moist, you can put it up, and if you need to use it again several times later, whatever, there it is, and you just give it a quick little knead between your finger and thumb, wet finger and thumb. If you do it with dry finger and thumb, you're going to be there picking gum off your finger and thumb for a while. But there it is, wet finger and thumb, perfect little putty, okay, that you can use for many different things. And we're gonna cover that in future segments of how versatile this material is. And of course, when you want to dispose of it, find some pavement somewhere, like right outside the front door of a Walmart, somewhere where everybody walks, and throw it down there. They'll really appreciate getting it on their shoes. So, don't do that. But anyways, there it is, one use for gum.